Hey, want to go to a dealer-only auction, something that probably most of you can't go to? Well, today's episode in flipping $400 into a Ferrari, I'm going to take you guys with me with $12,000 to see what we can buy at a dealer auction. The cool part is today is something new that we haven't ever done before. We're going to a new auction to see what it's like. What can we buy at a new auction with $12,000 towards our flipping $400 into a Ferrari series? Come along with me and join me with some fun. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Let's get going. Welcome to Flying Wheels and my Flying Wheels YouTube channel. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels and I own a small car dealership in New Hampshire. And right there you can see is my truck and trailer, and just a short 45-minute drive from my shop is an auction I've actually never been to, and you guys get to come along with me to check out this auction and see what we can end up buying for $12,000. And that $12,000 is going towards our $400 into a Ferrari flip. You can watch the whole series if you want to recap on where we're at with that. I just recently sold a Toyota Tundra that we had about $7,500 into. We ended up selling it for $12,000. Now I have $12,000 to go to the auction to see what we end up with. Now at dealer-only auctions, you need a dealer's license. To get into a dealer's license, there are different requirements in every single state. If you ever wanted to learn how to start your own dealership, I actually have a course program that I put together to teach you how to run a dealership, start a dealership, get a license, floor plans and auction banking and all kinds of stuff at startyourdealership.com. That's not what this video is about today. Is about the auction, which is right there. The cool thing about the auction is, like Forrest Gump's mama always said, you never know what you're gonna get. So we're gonna explore. Look at, you can see behind the fence all these cars over here. We're gonna see what's here. Spring has sprung. So we're gonna look around for some fun stuff to keep this Ferrari flip series entertaining. So let's go into the auction and see what we end up with. Whoa, before we even get into the auction, look at this. Look at what someone has created. This is in fact the coolest Jetta TDI I have ever seen. Wow, I want it so bad. It looks like an S10 Jetta. That is neat. Ooh, cheap toys. We have an LX Fox Body 5-liter. Is it a standard? Yes, it is a standard. It's not a Dogmatic. That's cool. That'd be a fun little project for us. With a Florida plate, which I love. So you'll see all the sun damage, which is far better than the rust damage, which is what we see up in New England. Ooh, I kind of want it. An old Whaler. This is a 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee supercharged Trackhawk. This is the same engine that's in the Hellcat, but it's in a Grand Cherokee. This is wild. I think this is like a $70-ish thousand car. But now it's 2 years old. What is it worth? 20,000 miles. What is this thing worth? I absolutely have no idea, but it is a beautiful car. This is so nice. I've never seen one in person.
A few minutes later.
2020 Trackhawk just went through with, I missed it on the camera, but like $89,600. That's crazy. Still going. This Trackhawk just sold for over $91,000. That is insane. Is that worth it? Am I out of my mind? I don't even know. What are those things worth? Was it worth $90,000? How much are they brand new? All right, you'll notice the cars pulling in on this lane and this lane, but nothing all the way down there. Now, auctions typically, all these lanes would be open with cars flooding all the way down the aisle that way, and they're not. So what I find out is they're simulcasting them in-house. Simulcast means like they're showing it on TV in lane. So I could be home watching them just like I could be here bidding on screen. So the only cars I actually get to see are those two lanes that are open, and then the rest are on television running through the other lanes behind me, which is kind of dull and a little boring. But I am a high bidder already. I've been here 10 minutes. I'm high bidder on a 2012 Silverado with 160,000 miles for $8,500 plus auction fees. I don't know what their auction fees are here, and plus transport, because I'm farther away from home. Transport is going to be more expensive versus the other auctions closer to me. I can just throw it on a trailer. My grandfather drives one back and we go back and forth all day. Check this out though. Lotus Evora. Wouldn't mind one of these. And they're realistically affordable, fun sports cars. Now, wow, this is cool. Look at these Recaro sports seats. Now, I already have a Bentley and an Aston Martin. Lotus is an English car too, isn't it? I don't need 3 exotic British cars, but this is fun. Check this out, even old, these things are great sellers, and it's pretty clean. I mean, rust-wise, like the rockers are solid. It's locked. I don't know, this must be a dealer's car. These things are worth a crazy amount of money, even old. So the way the auction works is anything over 10 years old from manufacturing date, so 2013 and older, is automatically red light. And I think it's under like $3,000, automatically red light. I buy it as is. I assume all responsibilities. Too bad for me if there's anything wrong with it. Under 100,000 miles, green light, meaning they kind of guarantee it. Anything over $500 in repairs, they guarantee it until 5 o'clock today, so I can have it run through the auction and pay extra to have them check it out, and if there's anything wrong, they'll kick it back. Now here is the auction with all the cars running through. Kind of a cool Jaguar. I've had a bunch of those, but they're not easy sells, so it's not really something I'm going to be interested in. Now the other thing that's kind of neat is this right here. This is a run list. So they give me a printout of all the cars running through. Now at the auction, I typically go through all the cars, run through the lanes, and it's a small enough auction that I can actually walk through the entire car lot, see what's there in the morning, and then they run through the lane anyway, so I get like 2 chances to look at the cars. Here, there's so many cars, I don't really have that opportunity, and the parking lot is gigantic. So they give me a run list so I can actually go through everything and see what I'd be interested in. Like this WRX right here, it's running C10, we already missed it. It's a 2015 with 82,000 miles. The other I'd be interested in, I buy and sell a ton of these Escalade ESVs. I have 3 kids, I have a dog. I'm very proficient in giant vehicles, minivans and big SUVs, because they just make sense to me, so it's easy for me to sell. This is clean, but I think I missed this one as well. That's what I'm curious about, an 08 Suzuki Grand Vitara with 99,000 miles. If you've been following my Ferrari Flip series, I have a 13 Suzuki Grand Vitara we just finished. I listed it for $8,500, which to me seems cheap. So I'm curious to see what an 08 Suzuki Grand Vitara with 99,000 miles goes for in comparison to the one I have. While we're on the topic of V8s, check out this. Is that a 392? That is a 392 Hemi. Brembo brakes, 6.4 liter SRT. Wow, that's cool. It still smells like a brand new car. And you get in a handshaker. Most of these are automatics, which is really cool to see in a standard transmission. There's a Suzuki Grand Vitara I was talking about. Very similar to the car I have, same wheels and everything. Yep, same car. What is this? I spotted a high spoiler from way back there. Oh, why? 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 Cool sticker. Just kidding. And it's an automatic. Always the 6-cylinder with the spoilers and the stickers. Here we go, Ford Focus ST. I used to do really, really well with these. A year ago, I was buying them every single week. Here's an 18 with 42,000 miles, but they've gone up in value. Can't even touch these things. Last week I was at the auction. I used to spend $800 to $8,500 on STs. Now the same one I bought a year ago is over $12,000 in bidders. So like, dealers were spending $12,000 plus on the same car I was buying them for $8,500 for a year ago. Is that a Challenger? And is that a 6-cylinder? If it's not a 6-cylinder, I would be interested. It is dropped and smashed and stickered. Oh, but it has a carbon fiber roof. I'm kidding. I know it's a sticker. I think they still have like 300 horsepower even out of a 6-cylinder. And with $5 a gallon fuel, not such a bad idea. I spy the Camaro way down there. There it is. Somebody's looking at it already. We're in like a rough section. Everything is banged up. Banged up. So I don't know why it's so far in the back of the auction with all like what seems to be the crashed cars. I wonder if they're repos or something. Yeah, Auto Credit Corp, and yeah, so these are all repossessions and stuff, and these are how people take care of their cars, and then they get repossessed. Now I see some window tape. I don't mind so much doing like, I don't know, I don't want to get into severe body work. Looks like a 6-cylinder, but it has SS wheels. No, those are 6-cylinder wheels. Ooh, it's a stick, cloth interior. Let's Let's see, there's no way this thing is gonna start. Yeah, nothing. We got a dead battery, aftermarket radio, but it is a standard transmission. I mean, I can fix a window, but I can't even hear it run. So the problem with this is the perfect example of what's wrong with how the car industry is right now. That car doesn't start. It has a dead battery and it's not running through the lane. So typically in any other time period, they jump it and I can see it run through the lane. I can visually see it running and driving. I can listen to the engine. Nowadays, since COVID, a lot of the auctions didn't open up the way they used to. I don't get to see or hear that thing run. So now they're gonna run it through and they'll take like pictures of it and they'll give it a very generic CR, which is a condition report, but it's not going to say like how does it run. It's not going to give you real details about it. So I'm going to bid on that blindly, hoping it runs. It might have an engine knock, it might have no clutch, it might have a bad transmission, missing a gear. I have no idea. So everything is a gamble at the auction now, which is really, really scary for me. And sometimes you suffer a loss and you have to recoup those losses with wins. So when I get a win, now unfortunately the price is going to be more to resell it because I have to recoup losses on the gambles I had to take because I have to bring in additional inventory, harder to find inventory, so I'm paying more. So it's just a revolving cycle or circle of like me paying more for things, which gets passed on to the consumer, which really stinks. I'm looking for the alien because I want to find that Audi S4 so we can check that one out, and then at least I know kind of what I'm bidding on when I walk in and bid on a TV screen. All right, I like the black wheels. Exterior condition is decent. We got a little bit of a scratch right here. Ooh, I wish it was a 6-speed. I love how you slide into Audi S4 seats. All right, so we have a drive. We have a reverse. Sadly, that's about as much as I can drive this car. I can test the windows, I can check the tires and kind of look at the brakes and do like a visual inspection on the car. I'll check fluids, drive belts, look underneath. And the best thing I have is this right here. I'm gonna scan that barcode and it's going to come up with what these are selling for at auction. So we can see A171. Mannheim is basically what these have sold for in the past 30 days across all Mannheim auctions, so 21.3. I like to go down to the JD Power. Between 15.7 and 18 is more realistic. So between 15 and 18 is what I'd like to spend. I look at the auto check history report, 2 owners, no accidents. So now we can go into the auction and I have a list and an idea of what I'm looking at, and I can go bid on cars over a television screen, I guess. Wait a minute, I spy 2 more cars I'm interested in. This is a Porsche Cayman. It is an 08 with 98,000 miles. Why put a carbon fiber sticker right here? I have no idea. It is a little beat up, but it could just be dirty, which is how I like them. I like dirty girls. Wait a minute, what? Let's start. Dead battery. That's scary to me because it's not going to run through the auction. So I have no idea how it runs. I just have to guess. Now, it being a 2006 means it's sold red light. So I'm buying it as is. It is a 100% complete gamble for me to buy this thing. I won't know. I just scanned the barcode. I won't know anything about this car until after I buy it and put a jump pack to it. Another thing that stinks too is like there's no name on the windshield, so I don't know who these sellers are. I don't know if they're new car dealers or used car dealers. Why is it here? If it's a new car dealer, they might just be selling their old inventory. If it's a used car dealer, why is it here? Is there something wrong with it? I have to just gamble. This whole place is a gamble. It's just scary. Let's go inside the auction. They're on 859 already, which means I just missed it. So when I went out to look, those cars are running through. But A78 is a 996 with 108,000 miles. I love these cars. Oh, it's freaking locked. I can't even look at it. Come on, man. I did make an attempt to bid on this one at least. I want to show you something crazy. 4 years ago, I bought a 2003 Porsche 911 Targa. Better than that car. It had 44,000 miles. I paid $23,500 for it 4 years ago with literally 1/3 the miles. Today, that car, which isn't a Targa, it's just a Carrera 2, MMR is $21,300. MMR meaning what they're selling for at auction now is $21,300. So pretty much what I paid for it 4 years ago is what it's worth now with triple the miles. That's crazy. Here's that CJ5. When I was a kid, talking like 3 or 4 years old, my great-grandfather had one of these, and he used to take me bowling in it and put me in the back seat. Every time he took a turn, my head whacked that sidebar. This awful Jeep brings back some serious memories. All right, here's what I want. I want them both. It's kind of neat to see, even though the cars aren't running through the lanes, they have these, which has all the options, and I can scan it right there, so I can still get the values and everything just like I normally would when I scan the cars when they're running through the lanes. It's weird, I waited for A78 and it's a 2017 Silverado, not the 996 911, which is what I've been standing in this lane for the whole time. It's really strange because that's the car I wanted. All right, here we go, Ford Taurus SHO. This is in my wheelhouse. We could buy something like this. 140,000 miles, it says it's worth $5,000. This is between worth 33 and 5. And it has one owner, but it's at $7,000. So the highest is $5,600. Retail is $9,000. High bid right now is $7,200 and still climbing. So I guess I'm not leaving with an SHO. Bummer, I thought that was gonna be our Ferrari flip car. The good news is, sad to say, now that fuel prices are so high, the prices on big cars are coming down. So I was just high bidder on a 2015 Escalade ESV, 6.2 liter, just amazing, amazing truck, family car, everything. I'd give that to my wife. Those were 35 all day long with 115,000 miles, even 3-4 months ago. I was just the high bidder at 28 and no one else was bidding against me. So that is promising. It means the prices of those things are coming down because they were way overpriced for a really, really long time. They've overinflated and now it seems like they're starting to adjust thanks to fuel costs. I mean, I hate saying that out loud, but they're coming down in price at least. Oh my goodness, I started my business on these toilets. This is a Dodge Stratus, yeah, Dodge Stratus that needs paint. When I lived in Florida, these were my money makers. This is what I used to buy because they were cheap and they were reliable and they were easy to clean, easy to maintain. I'm kind of interested just out of nostalgia. Like if I can get this thing under $1,000 bucks, let's see what year. Oh, it has an oil pressure light on. Never mind, but it's 30,000 miles on it. 01 Dodge Stratus, 30,000 miles. This looks so bad. Check out that shifter. I just bought that Civic for $7,500, a Civic SI. I bought an Expedition for $900 too, so I did buy that Civic SI, which I think is our Ferrari flip car, $7,500. The problem is, because it was lower, they announced unibody, like it was dropped. So when the auctioneer announces unibody, it shows up on the Carfax as frame unibody damage, which is really difficult to finance now. Just because of an announcement, it's going to change the whole history of course. Oh, check out that TDI. Hey! A TDI Jetta for $1,000 bucks. So I just bought a TDI Jetta with 160,000 miles for $1,000 as well. I'm curious to see what the auction fees are here. I think so far I have 3 or 4 cars. I have to say prices are fair. That's an 04 Civic, 150,000 miles, $1,700 bucks. That's realistic. I don't see a lot of under $2,000 cars anymore, so that's pretty good. I've seen a couple of under $2,000 cars, which used to be under $1,000 cars, which is non-existent anymore. But keep in consideration auction fees plus transport costs because I'm a lot farther than my shop now. Now here's something kind of cool about the auction. My $400 Ferrari flip car, the reason I have $12,000 was an 08 Toyota Tundra with 230,000 miles. I sold it for 12 grand. This is an 09 Toyota Tundra with 135,000 miles and a new frame for $11,300, so less than what I sold my truck for. So obviously prices at the auction are pretty fair compared to what we can sell them for retail. Keep in mind, I bought my car and did $2 grand worth of work and completely changed it around from how I bought it though. You know, I have to vent for 1 second. In the past few years, the state of Massachusetts has legalized a couple things, and ever since, as soon as I cross the border from New Hampshire into Massachusetts, the entire state smells like the devil's lettuce, which is fine, whatever. To each his own, I'm not hating, but every time I come here, which I try to not ever cross the border, like no offense, Mass people, or take offense, whatever. I try not to cross the border, but when I bring my kids, into the city, 100% of the time, all you can smell is skunks. And guess what my kids ask me? Why are there so many skunks in the city? And then I have to explain it. The whole state smells like, you know, so. All right, so I have some updates. I ended up with 3 cars so far. The auction isn't over. I did get that Civic Si. Buyer fee was $415, so add that to the $7,500 is $79.15 for that Civic. Yeah, I have to take into consideration a $400 buyer fee on every car I buy now, plus transport. I'm gonna be into that thing for, I don't know, $8,200, $8,300 before it even gets to my shop. I bought an 05 Expedition for $900, auction fee was $200, and then I bought the Jetta TDI for $1,000, which buyer fee was $265. So these buyer fees are all over the place. They're not even consistent. So far I've spent $10,280. This thing, high bidder of $25,000, to me seems really, really reasonable. It didn't sell, so I can counter, oh, it has 86,000 miles. That's probably why. That's a lot of miles for this car. What a little go-kart. This thing's like a roller skate. No key, so I can't start it. I can't, oh, wait a minute, here we go. Wow, that's a stiff clutch. Make sure it's in neutral. Look at that. Same key as my Aston Martin and a Jaguar. Maybe this thing is British. Shows how much I know about Lotus. All right, sounds good. No crazy lights on, just a service light. I would like to buy one of these at 25 grand. This is a fun car for that price. So I'll check it out a little bit more and see if it's worth it, and then I can counter offer them with a better price than the 25 because it didn't meet the seller's reserve. So I pulled the history of my trusty phone app. One owner, which is awesome, does have an accident, minor accident, and there's really no comps that I can use. It says it's worth about 27.2. Last auction sold was 32.3, but it probably had significantly lower mileage. Yeah, it had 25,000 miles. This is 86,000. So it's tough to compare what it's actually worth when there's no other comps to actually compare it to. But at 25, that's a hell of a car for 25 grand. I don't know what else you get that's more fun than that, other than a Corvette. Okay, auction is over, and I absolutely felt like a newbie here. A lot of things were very foreign to me, and I was learning as I go, so you guys got to see it firsthand coming to an auction for a first time. Something to take away, and I have a question for you guys. It's $95 per vehicle to transport back to my shop, which is an hour away. I bought 3 cars today. I'm gonna bring the Civic back to my shop. I could, number one, take one of my guys, come back here, which is another 2 hours worth of driving, plus probably half an hour of here and stuff. So 2.5 hours could save me $190, or I just pay somebody the $190 and have the rest of the day to myself. Which would you choose? 200 bucks more in your pocket, minus the cost of fuel, minus the cost of an employee's time and labor, and them not getting something done at the shop, or just pay it and it's over with. I don't think about it, the car just shows up. Let's go check out that Civic. Here's the Escalade I was the high bidder on at 28. Now, 2015, 119,000 miles. 28 used to be a steal on these things. What a nice car. This was well over 100 grand 7 years ago and 100,000 miles. I would have bought this for 27, even 28 and 28 and a half, but he wanted 30, and the prices are coming down, and I want them to come down. So if I just keep agreeing to the higher prices, they'll never drop back down. So I didn't get it. All right, there's my first buy of the day, that Ford Expedition. I've said there's no such thing as $1,000 cars anymore. I paid $1,000 for this, plus a $200 auction fee, plus transport, so I'll own it for $1,300. I know nothing about it except that it drove through the lane. Let's check this one out first. All right, I think it's a 2004. I don't know. We'll check that out in a minute. This is the first place I go. Yeah. Oh man. Damn. That is freaking ugly. No. It is so gross in here. This is what you get for $1,000. The rockers are rotted all the way down, and it smells like cigarettes in here. Does have leather, DVD, and an old-fashioned navigation system. Sure, this side's rotted out as well. Yepers, nice big gaping hole. That can be buffed out at least. Ew, look at that steering wheel. Ugh, that's hand filth. Let's see if it starts. Hey, sounds healthy, no timing chain rattle. Does have a check engine light on, probably for a misfire in this 5.4, which is going to be a nightmare to get that plug out. Sounds healthy, actually. Does it have reverse? Good, we have reverse. Does it have drive? Wait a minute. Oh, good, we have drive too. Alrighty, I think I see my Civic. Is that my Civic Si? Yes, it is. I know nothing about this car because I didn't even know this lane existed. I can say I'm gonna be removing some things. Like, I'm gonna be debadging it. I'm gonna be taking off these silly spokes, and I'm just gonna buff it and get rid of like the silly things. Maybe I'll get rid of those. Definitely the stickers will be gone. I don't know, that tow hitch will appeal to the younger generation, the person buying this car. I'll paint the wheels. I love that interior. That shifter cracks me up. That is what sold me on this car. All right, so this is my Ferrari flip. Yes, it has a Gen Z anti-theft device right here, but in a car like this is what you want. You want a manual transmission in a Honda Civic. Like I said in my black Honda Civic video, a 4-cylinder Honda Civic with a manual transmission is one of the best cars you can ever buy. And the fact that it's an SI makes it really, really cool. Does have the sunroof. Let's see if it starts. Nice. 126,000 miles is respectable. I really like this shifter. 126,000 miles is respectable miles. No lights on the dash besides a tire pressure light. All the windows work. And it has an aftermarket radio with infotainment and all that. This is our Ferrari flip car for $8,000 shipped to my house. $8,000. I think we scored on this. I think we did all right. And we have a $4,000 buffer. So I have an extra $4,000 because remember we had a $12,000 budget from selling the Tundra. So right now I have a Bentley Continental GT. I have a Suzuki Grand Vitara, and I have a 2011 Honda Civic Si, and $4,000. And I originally started with $400. That's kind of cool to say that. And I'm in the swing of things. I took the winter off. I was a little slow in the Ferrari Flip series. I'm back in the swing. I'm doing it weekly. I'm not going to take that other 4 and roll it into another car. I don't need 4 Ferrari Flip cars. I already have 3. I'm going to work on getting this ready, selling the Grand Vitara, and I want to list that Bentley on Cars and Bids and see how we do. Let's check out our third car and then get this one home. And here we go. I only bought this Jetta because it's a TDI, turbo diesel. Now, typical rust spots. We always see that on Jettas. And unfortunately, diesel is $5 a gallon right now, which stinks. And, oh man, that's not good for the sunroof. Why is this here? Is that a magnet? It is a magnet, cool. Hopefully it's not leaking, but I assume it is. Hey, it is clean. Let's see if it starts. Do we need to wait on glow plugs on a Jetta? I don't know. It started right up, and it's diesel quiet. Honestly, I think this is a winner. I don't dare attempt to open the sunroof until it's back at the shop. But look at how clean the leather is. Everything's in good shape. Does it have reverse? Yes, it does have reverse. Does it have drive? Yes, it has drive. This is awesome. So I'm gonna work on getting these, and that kind of stinks back there, but I can use some spray adhesive to get that back in place. So I'm gonna work on getting this and the Expedition back to my shop by transport, and I'm gonna bring the Civic, our $400 Ferrari flip car, back to my shop on my trailer. All right, let's get out of here and get loaded up. This right here is my gate pass. This is permission for me to leave, telling the guards that I paid for the car and I get to take it off property and take it home. Then load it up on the trailer and get the heck out of here and show German our latest Ferrari flip. Ready for some VTEC action? That was all sound and no go. Behold, our new Ferrari flip is here. 2011 Honda Civic Si. We've actually never owned one of these ever before. And we have 3 Civics. 1, 2, 3.
I thought it was a Subaru because of the weight.
I know, with that giant wing. No, this is a reliable tuner car. I had no doubt about buying this thing. A Subaru, I would have thought twice. A little double-sided tape here. Get rid of these spokes. A little fiberglass. What do you think of that shifter? That's part of the reason why I bought it. It was appealing. Well, stay tuned for the next episode when we go through this car, bring it back to life, see what it needs, and I'll show you the entire process of how we recon that car and get it ready for sale. Also, if you want to learn how to do what I do, startyourdealership.com will teach you how to get full access to auctions, how to get your dealer's license, how to buy cars like I buy them. Super cool program. Startyourdealership.com. If you don't want to start your own dealership, maybe you just want to flip some cars on the side, Car Flipping 101, check it out. Carflipping101.com. We're going to get that thing ready for sale, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. And as a favor to me, click that thumbs up button down below because it helps boost the algorithm for me. I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am, German. I'll see you all later. Have a great day and adios. Hey, so great news, the Suzuki Grand Vitara has already sold for $8,000. So in the next video, we're gonna see how bad this Honda Civic actually is, and we're gonna bring it back to life. And then we get to take $8,000 to the auction to see what we can come up with. If you click that circle right in the middle, you can subscribe to our channel to watch all of our videos. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.